Hello, and today we are going to be going into something called JSON. So we're actually going to make a whole new, just going to call this JSON.py. And we're going to copy in a bunch of the important stuff from this import. So you're going to take it all the way down to this commands.bot right here. Copy that, paste it in, and scroll all the way down to the bottom here. Just grab this bot.run. Okay, so we have a new bot, right? And I'm just going to change this to its exclamation point. Why not? Be fun. Okay, so how this works is there's this thing called JSON. How JSON works is it's dictionaries and it's a way to store data over time, right? Because what happens is, let's make a quick bot. So bot.command and async define num store under ctx num. Now we are going to have num is equal to num cool num to num await ctx dot send num saved. Okay, now we're gonna create another one. Bot.command. In this case, we are going to define print num. When await tx.send a num is num. Okay, so cool. Okay, so this is all set. We have cool num equal to 0, and this one is going to store it and say that it's saved, and then this one is going to print it out. So let's run this. You don't actually have to write that code if you don't want to. But so we're going to exclamation point store num 5. What's the command called? Num store. Num saved. Okay, so now print num. The num is 0. We saved it as 5, but it came back to 0. So this is an idea called scope. Okay, so we have this thing here. We say cool num is 0 up here, and then here we set cool num to the num, which in this case is 5 and saves. However, inside of this command is where we change num, but it can't be re-accessed from the code. So if you want to be able to input data with one command and then send something out with another command, you can't do that here, right? You just can't do that. It does not work. But there's a way around this, and it's called JSON. So called num.json, just like that, right? JSON is going to create this. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to start out with just 2 curly braces. This is how we're going to store it. So in this case, we're just going to leave it like this. Now what we have to do is I'm going to actually quickly grab the code from my original Discord bot that I did all the way down here. We're going to grab the JSON code. Okay. This is all we are going to need. Okay. So, up here, we're going to write this, and we're going to have to make sure we import JSON. Okay. So, we're going to write, I'm just keeping that so I don't write it wrong, so we're going to write with open. In this case, we're going to write num.json r as f data equals JSON. Okay, so what this code is doing is we are telling Python to open the file num.json in read mode so that we can see what the data is, right? As f, we're just storing it as a variable f, and then we're loading it into this thing called data, right? Now what we can do is we can access data, and we're going to make a new thing, and this is called a dictionary. So dictionaries work in Python. So in a list, right, we have a list, and we're going to call this 0 as the first item in the list, right? It's an ordered data set, right? It's an order, it's a list. How dictionaries work is they have keys, right? So we have num, the key is num, the answer is 5. We can have hello, and the key for hello is world, right? And num isn't data 0, right? What num is data num, like that. We call the key here, and that'll give us access to the 5. What we want to do is we want to set it, right? So data num is equal to, in this case, we're going to write none, okay? It's equal to none. Then what we have to write is with open our num.json w as f, and you have to write json.dump data f indent equals 2. Okay, we can delete all this. I don't need this anymore. So what this is doing here is then we're going to reopen the file in write mode, and we're going to dump it and dump all the data in, right? So right now there's nothing, but if we run this now, boom, num is equal to null. Look at that. Just from our Python code, we were able to do that. So now it's in here, and now we can edit and do what we want with this. We have this at the start because what happens is when you close it out, we don't automatically go in here and change this. So this means every single time when we start it off, it's going to be none. So when we change it from there, we can change it. So what we're going to do here, copy in this little code. Now this seems confusing, right? So what we're actually going to do is we're going to put this into a function, right? Define JSON load num, okay? And what we're going to do this is we're just going to have the num, okay? Now when you get more complex, you might have to do these individually, but for this, we can actually do this and it'll make it a lot easier. So when data num is equal to num, right? So here we're going to just run load num to start, and none, null, nope, none for Python. JSON is technically written in a more like JavaScripty language. We're going to write none here, but it's going to convert it to null because it's JSON. So we'll load it in as none. So let's just make it 5. And now when we run this code,
faster.
Alright, so now what we gotta do is we are going to store it. So first we're gonna load num as num. cdxn num saved as num. And we're just gonna write an f string. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is in here, we're going to set cool num. Then all we got to do is we're going to open this up. Open up. Because you don't want to write it actually, we're just going to open up data and data num. I'm going to set cool num equal to data num. Okay, so now we're going to run this. What we're going to do is we're going to open up this JSON on the left side so that you can see what's happened to the JSON. So we go down here, and we are going to store 15. Save as 15. You can see right here, just changed to 15. Right? We can just copy and paste this and watch the JSON. Boom, changed, just with code. So now what we can do is now we can print num. The num is 14 because we're grabbing it from the JSON. So that's super cool, right? So Now this allows us to do so many more things because we don't have to keep anything connected to just one little development, right? So, for example, let's just do a really simple one. Let's make one Mad Libs, right? So what we can do is we are going to, so that's how you do JSON. So in the next video, we are going to go into accessing APIs, and then after APIs, we will go into making slash commands, and after that, we'll be done.